Hi, Gemini. Welcome to your end of April 2021 General Tarot Update. It's Raina here. I wonder if these are Eclipse vibes, because there's a lot of major action with these cards. We have 4 out of 6 of the cards are major arcana cards, so what do you think? The eclipse is going to be at the end of May, but maybe some of you will feel it a month early, and in that area of committed partnership. Some of this feels like relationship issues. The heart of the matter, the Devil card. The Devil card is the material over the spiritual, lust, greed, anything that comes between you and your higher self, your soul, gaining the world and losing your soul. Now, of course, you don't lose your soul, but you certainly can put it on ice for a while. This card is connected to Capricorn. I can also think of other people in your life that kind of, act in this way. So narcissists are one of the big ones that come to mind. And sometimes they are using money to control people, and you may feel like you're being controlled by them, that person, in some way, even like a parent, even if you're an adult child, and that parent knows that you don't have much money, and they try to lure or lord money over you. But a boss, it could be, just about anyone. A boss can be a narcissist, and a boss can have these qualities. And I'm not saying that everybody who is greedy or is like overly attached to the physical is a narcissist, but I'm just saying that I think they go together a lot of times. But let's just put it back on you. So where in your life do you feel that you are too attached to the material? It might even be just like with your work, that you really want to do creative work and you're selling out in some way. We have here in the past position the Ace of Cups, and this can be like an offering of love, but also a new creative project or something like that. And it may be that you're clashing with your what do you call it, your ideals, or your yearnings are butting up against another part of yourself that is more of that, what would we call it, the primitive, like the reptilian part that's very into safety and predictability. And, it feels weird to say that about Gemini because, you're known as being a free spirit and all of that stuff. But I have done readings for Gemini people, not too many, I would say, overall. But I realize that they're just like anybody else, and they can have like a lot of Geminis may have inner planets in Cancer for one thing, or even Taurus, and that can make such a person more fiscally conservative. And then the moon and the rising sign can be any sign, so that can also really color the not just personality, but the way a person conducts themselves a lot of times, or their what I would call their outlook on life. And so it's a very, I think it even goes a lot deeper than that. With the devil card, I think it can also be, yeah, I mean, it is associated with lust and greed and things like that. But I also think that even conformity falls into this category, because some people just don't want to stand apart, and they want to, maybe be liked, approved of, and not draw any flack to them and that kind of thing. And then it's like the world wins in a sense, because there's not enough people with the contrast to kind of show others that life doesn't have to be what we are programmed to think it is. And it's only if you have people who are willing to step out of that matrix that we can see that, if we're not awake yet. Yeah, and actually that's what I would say with the devil card ultimately is the matrix. And it does masquerade as greed and lust and all those things for sure. So this can also be like with relationship of, either a sexual relationship that has a Gemini person kind of ensnared, where they don't even like the person, but they keep getting involved with them. Or that, let's say that they're married to somebody or living with somebody who is a good provider, has nice living, can provide them a nice home and all those things, but it's almost like a hellish situation at the same time because of that person's behavior, the way that they treat them. The higher message is the Wheel of Fortune, and this card is connected to Jupiter. And Jupiter, we think of as a planet that is associated with luck. It's associated with your personal growth, expanding your life in many different ways. But people sometimes focus on the luck angle. And since this is in the spiritual position, I want to focus on the fact that this is the wheel, meaning that there are different cycles in life. And immediately when I went to pick up that card, I thought of seasons of life. And it could be that you are reaching an end to a cycle, Gemini, or starting a new one, and you are having difficulty letting go and moving on from something, as evidenced by this card, the World card. The World card can indicate the end of a cycle. When it's in the challenge position, the person may refuse to see the writing on the wall. In my tarot book, they call it a jack of all trades and a master of none. And it's funny because Gemini, I think, has been described as a jack of all trades. But you don't want to be somebody who isn't finishing what you have started, has unfinished business somewhere, and is afraid to start new things. And that the Ace of Cups, too, that might be somebody new who has come into your life, and your energy is so like tied to some old person that you cannot make space for that new person. And I think like what the Wheel of Fortune would be saying in that context is, really get a hold of yourself, because, you get these opportunities, and if you just don't take advantage of it, it's like you're turning your back on good fortune. And that's one of the reasons why I impress upon people so much when I'm, doing like private readings, that, if people are so obsessed with transits and things like that, And luckily, a lot of people that I deal with aren't really that. I mean, they probably are interested, but they're also wanting to know more about themselves. But, I just feel like even if you go to somebody that is a psychic and they say that they're psychic, because I don't call myself that or anything like that, if that psychic tells you that somebody is your dream man or woman is going to come into your life next week, that person may be the perfect match for you, but you might push them away because you're just too wounded by your childhood or your last relationship that really did a number on you. So predictions are only as good as your willingness to step up to the plate in your own life. So that's why I say, for what it's worth, look at your life right now in this moment, and what do you see? Do you see that there's something that feels like it has changed in your life, or that you can you can sense the winds of change? Because that would relate to the eclipses and stuff like that. What's coming in? Five of Cups. This is mourning the loss of something, feeling a sense of disappointment. I don't necessarily think that this is something new. I think that this is tied to that World card. I think that maybe it's a delayed reaction about something that you haven't been willing to face, and you are now ready to embrace your own inner journey, if you want to look at it that way. And sure enough, we have the outcome card, the Hermit card, which is looking within and doing that soul searching. So isn't it interesting? I start with the Devil and I end with the Hermit. I start with this archetype of evil, or with the tarot, it might be more like enticement or addiction, that kind of compulsive behavior, enslavement to the pleasures of the flesh. And I end with this contemplative figure who is seeking wisdom, inner wisdom. I really like to see this. Now, this is coming in the last however many days we have left of the month, I guess about 9 days. So keep your eye on, where in your life you feel like you can't break free, and how you can trace that obsession, or whatever you want to call it, an addiction. And I don't mean like the regular type of addiction, but that attachment to something that isn't good for you. Where what do you think is the root cause, and how can you remove it from your life so that you can move forward? Because you have a lot to be excited about in the coming year. Gemini, you're going to have a solar eclipse in your sign in just a matter of less than 2 months. So do that inner work and tie up those loose ends. That's what I have for you. I hope that you enjoyed this. If you'd like a personal reading, a natal chart interpretation, or what have you, the link is below. Thanks for watching. Bye.